All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the April 24, 2019 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being streamed live, I believe, and is also being recorded for, probably not for posterity, but for further viewing at the town website, which is auburnguide.com. Before I begin tonight's meeting, I have to ask if anyone in the audience is recording us. Okay. So before we begin, I just wanted to acknowledge that the longtime former chairman of this commission, Ann Weston, passed away on April 14th. Ann served on the commission for about 25 years and was chairman for most of that time. She was also active on various town boards, including the Open Space Committee, the Tax Abatement Exempt Advisory Group, and the Board of the Housing Authority, and she was a longtime town meeting member. So I know when I started with the commission, she was a mentor to me, and I believe she will be missed. So I just wanted to acknowledge her passing. The first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 o'clock public hearing, Homes by Emerson, John Stelmach, a notice of intent to construct a single-family home, etc., at property located at 23 Brook Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second that?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the vote. Mr.
Good
Allen.
evening. Arthur Allen from Ecotech,
Hi, Art.
here to follow up on the continued public hearing.
Hi,
And
Justin.
with me is applicant, one of the applicants, Justin
Justin
Stelmach.
Stelmach, Homes by Emerson.
He is very familiar to us. So I had an opportunity to see the site, and actually I went today, and I think Tom was going to go out too. So, you know, it seems like a very straightforward project. The wetlands are clearly demarcated at the back of the property. And having been to the property, I can also see the side slope to the right, and I think that would be 25 Brook Street.
This has been split out of 25.
Right. And so, it's you know, at least at the street end, it's primarily upland. And so I had no other questions. I just, you know, I think that, as I had said to you the last time, we always want to take a look and get a sense of the lay of the land.
Sure, yeah, and like I had said at the first hearing, you know, without extending a long driveway to the back and encroaching, you know, directly adjacent to the wetland driveway, we wanted to keep everything up front. You know, adding the stormwater and
Right.
it's what it is. Yep.
Exactly. Any questions from the board?
You should check it out.
Any questions from the audience? This would be for 23 Brook Street. Okay. If that is the case, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion that we close the hearing for Homes by Emerson. Notice of intent.
Okay, is there, all right, is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote. All right, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you need to call me tomorrow, I can tell you what happened.
Okay. Give me a call.
Our next hearing is continued, so I don't know if you want to stick around.
I'll call you in the morning.
Okay,
Thanks, Jill.
all right.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah, it's a big house, 30 by 74. Woo. Yeah. Well, I guess that's a garage attached, so back face. Let's see here.
Yeah, if you can read it first.
So the next item on our agenda is the 7:05 public hearing, Darrell Ravati, a notice of intent for the addition of a garage and shed at 86 Rochester Street in Auburn. I understand, Sheila, that the applicant has requested to continue, continuance the public hearing to May 8th, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, they didn't give any reason. The plan was signed last night at the planning board.
Okay.
Maybe because he hadn't had it recorded, but I'm not sure why he wanted to wait. He called me and was coming in early in the morning and then called and left a message and then sent with Dina and sent a message he was going to request to continue and sent the request form.
Okay, all right, very good. So is there a motion?
I make a motion that we continue the hearing for the notice of intent for Darrell Ravati at 86 Rochdale Street until April 8th, May 8th,
Sorry, yeah.
May 8th at,
Let me see.
It's like 7:45.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I put 7.
You want to try to, maybe 7:20?
Where's my other ones?
No, you know what, it shouldn't be 7:20.
I think I've got something.
You have
Where am I?
FW Webb at
Other agenda one.
7:15.
Okay. You could even do 7:05. What do you think? Johnson shouldn't be a long one. Do you have the next agenda?
Yeah, you put it in
Yeah,
there.
okay.
Why don't you
All
put it, in that
How
case,
about 7:05?
that's fine.
Yeah.
So there's a motion, is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so vote. Okay. So I'm curious, folks, are you here for any specific property?
82 Berlin. Yeah.
These are your neighbors of the, okay, of the property, all right. Well, we can take it up. I will tell you that after we received a complaint about a shed being built on the bank, Ms. Cloris went to the property and I also went to the property, and we did issue an enforcement order. And Mr. Coriglia was, in fact, in the enforcement order, was advised to be here this evening.
He did call. He is coming, and I think I told him 7:15.
Okay, so
So-
if you folks would just,
Okay.
wait until then, we will, pick it up again. Okay. Regarding, and I'm taking things out of order, but we have a couple of orders of condition to do, so we'll save those till the end. I did have a conversation with Megan
Yes, Shelby.
Shelby.
Selby.
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 Sorry.
Megan Selby at DEP.
Shelby.
I did too, but that's not her name.
I was saying that.
So, and I talked to her, I believe, last Thursday, and she did indicate, as the email from Sheila stated, that she had gone to the property a couple weeks ago. Apparently, Mr. Goodman was present for a portion of her site visit, and then he left. But the long and short of it is that they are going to refer it, I think, to regional council. She talked about them bringing it up or putting it on their agenda,
Yeah.
which is, I requested if I could attend. I was politely told I couldn't.
Ah.
So that's an internal matter, and then they're going to decide on a course of action. I think the hope is, in previous cases where DEP gets involved, they attempt to negotiate with the property owner and then enter into a consent decree. And I have no idea how cooperative Mr. Goodman's going to be.
Yeah.
But they are involved. They recognize that because the way that the channel was reconstructed on the property, it is increasing the wetland, but not in a good way. And so we'll see what happens. She did advise that she thought it would be referred to regional council, or there would be further discussions probably in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So I think probably by the middle of May we should have, hopefully we'll have some further guidance on what is going to happen with that property.
I think she wanted me to send her a couple of things too that I haven't even had a chance to do that, but I will do that first thing in the morning. She told me that they did it like a GIS map, an older map, and she said that you could see the channel on that, where it originally was.
And I'm guessing the new channel
Yeah.
is not there, right?
No, and then, she said nothing was constructed according to the plan.
That's right. And also when she went there, the chicken coop was still on the side of the
really?
street,
But still,
which of course we had told him to move it and he didn't do it. So, all right, well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I guess that commission or whatever they have to go in front of they have to like pass it through them before they can even do it.
That's right.
They have to like give them the okay to do whatever.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, and I imagine, there are probably a number of projects out there that need some attention, so we'll see what happens. And then,
Yeah.
in all honesty, I mean, if they remand the case back to the town, then we can decide to take further action.
Yep,
So, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
yep.
You have on the agenda the appeal for 33 Sword Street, and I was wondering what,
That's coming up next month. What they did is they've, the abutter at 31 is appealing
right,
our,
to DEP.
yes.
Mhm.
So what they're doing is they're refiling the whole application. So I've got a whole new application in there.
So, and that's scheduled for the next meeting in
Yes.
May.
Yeah.
In response to this appeal?
I'm not sure, the girl just came in with the packet and I said, we already did this.
Okay.
And she said, and so I spoke to Jamie, I think somebody, or Chris, or Jamie, I've spoken to so many people.
Okay.
And he explained that, because it was the way our order went with, the way the meeting went with the order, we closed the public hearing before they submitted the maintenance and operation manual. So that supposedly
Well, I
was a
think you-
concern.
As I recall, and I'll have to check the minutes, I thought that we may have closed the public hearing, but we also said that
We held off
we held
signing.
off on
Right.
issuing the conditions until we received the maintenance and...
Right, that's just what we did, but apparently they're still appealing it.
Well, in any event, we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
So he's just submitted a whole new application
All right,
and paid that amend fee and
Okay.
advertising, and they're gonna notify the abutters,
all right, very good.
so.
Okay. And the next item is Faith Avenue.
Yeah, whatever happened with that, the re-signing of that order, I can't remember how that was.
Well, no, because the question was, the original order should have been recorded, and of course it wasn't recorded.
Right.
And so the question I raised was whether, that was several years ago.
Yeah.
The board is basically entirely reconfigured now, and so
Right.
my question was whether this board could basically re-sign
Yeah, that's right.
an order of conditions. And so I think Mr. Grabowski was going to check with DEP and find out if in fact they could do it. I don't know if this is covered by any of their regulations, but in any event, so that why don't we'll just
So if
continue
that was never recorded, and it's past 3 years, what's the
Well, I think you can make an argument that it's since been superseded by other
other? yeah,
orders that we've issued at the property,
Right,
because,
and it wasn't recorded, so it's not a problem as far as issuing the COC to get it off the deed.
right, that's exactly right. So in fact, we may not have to re-sign it.
Yeah,
So in any event, we'll let them figure it out.
okay.
So,
Do you want me to take that off the agenda?
no, keep
leave it on?
carrying it
Okay.
because I'm sure we'll see Mr. Grabowski,
Okay, yes, I'm
sooner
sure.
rather than later.
Leave it on there.
So,
Yeah.
How about Bleecker and Albert?
Bleecker and Albert Street, what is it?
I mean, I think Sheila carried that from the last meeting. I haven't heard any further complaints. There was a water truck on site to basically water down the mounds of dirt that we're digging up.
Yeah.
I know that there was a concern with dust. I have not heard any other issues.
There was a planning board meeting last night regarding that. I know Bill Coyle went. I didn't really get to even talk to Adam too much, but,
Uh-huh.
he's saying, that they're really, it's part of the subdivision, the work that they're doing there. Apparently they got into a bunch of ledge and, they're processing it there. Probably selling off the grindings. or
Well,
whatever.
I don't think the
I
ledge
don't
was a
know.
big surprise there, frankly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So, all right, you know what, I'll make a note. I'll speak to Mr. Coyle.
okay.
I'll put a call on
Or
him.
even Adam Menard, our planner.
Sure.
He,
Okay.
Bill's on vacation this week.
Okay, then I will definitely put a call on Adam then. Okay. Mr. Criglia, good evening.
Good evening.
So, thank you for coming tonight. As you know, I handed you an enforcement order concerning the shed that you constructed on the bank at your property.
Yes.
And so I wanted to know, and I think your neighbors would like to know what your plans are for that.
It was initially delivered, it was supposed to be delivered in 2 pieces from Skip Sheds, and subsequent to, I had a fire in my house, we were put out of our house. We got a mobile temporary housing in the backyard, which took up quite a bit of space. When the shed arrived, it was supposed to come in, like I said, 2 pieces, but the roof was completely disassembled. And I brought that up with Skips and Skip Sheds. And the woman from Skip Sheds, the CEO from Skip Sheds, spoke to a Sheila Conroy?
Yeah.
Sheila, thank you for talking to her. And asked what we should do because of all the concern that it caused. I said, I'm going to return it. So they felt that it should not be returned because it's a movable structure. And I explained to them, which was explained to me by our building inspector, that it actually was constructed on the lot. So I agreed with them. So as far as the conservation is concerned, where I wanted to, where I'd like to place it is where our temporary housing is right now. We have a building permit for that. We have it for X amount more months until we complete we had smoke damage in our house, so we were put out of the house.
Right.
And there were some very kind neighbors that did offer their assistance in our time of need, so to speak. And there were others that had complained that there was and it's, it's a 3-bedroom trailer in the backyard. So what it's actually doing right now is it's obstructing where we could put that shed. So all things involved, I'd like not to have to return it, but if...
Well, sir, it's not,
Yeah,
I think you need to recuse yourself, actually.
that's true.
So, sir, just let me explain to you why we issued the enforcement order. You built it on the bank, and we're not necessarily saying that's a prohibited use, but you have to file with us. We have to get notice. At a minimum, you had to file a request for determination with us, and then,
Yep.
you make your presentation. There's discussion, there are comments from the audience, and then we make a determination. I think, and I'm assuming, and if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll be corrected, that people, I think, probably got a little bent out of shape because they saw the shed being built on the bank, number one. Secondly, when I went out there, I also saw that there's a deck that goes right to where you could like offload a boat, or where you could go into the pond there. So if your intention is to move it, that's fine. When I went there, and it looked like it was substantially complete. I know when the building inspector went down there, because of the threat of rain, you had to put the roof on it, and I get that. But at least from the outside, the shed looks like it's substantially complete. So I guess my question would be, if in fact your intention is to move it where the trailer is now, how are you going to do that without deconstructing it?
Yeah, Skips has the ability, Skips being the folks that sold it to me, they have the ability to load it onto their trailer, and they put sonotubes on the, not sonotubes, exactly.
Okay, so they roll it into...
And they roll it into place, is how it got rolled into place now.
Okay.
When I purchased it, it was supposed to come in one piece. That's the way they sell them. That's their pitch. They sell the sheds, their movable structures. So when I purchased it, I said it's coming in one piece. They said, well, it might have to come in 2 pieces, the roof and the rest of the shed, the box and the deck and so on and so forth. So my,
So the deck at the back of the shed was included with the shed that you purchased from Skips, or is that something you
Yeah, the
built
whole-
separately?
oh, the deck, that's pre-existing, that's been there.
Sir, the deck that I saw, that looked like it was new construction. I'm talking specifically about the deck that's from the back of the shed that goes right
Yeah,
onto the
that's
back.
been there for, and any of my neighbors behind me could tell you, that's been there for several years.
Okay, looked pretty new to me.
1 year.
Okay.
All right,
That's it.
so,
Who says 1 year?
I say 1. You built it.
What do you
last
say,
summer.
Tom?
okay, we're
1 year and 1 month.
we're gonna keep this orderly, all right? Let me break out my gavel, all right? I
Don't get Mike mad.
It
So-
gets tough.
will. So, well, I have a few more questions. When do you think you're gonna be able to move back into your home?
So, we're anticipating another 3 months.
Uh-huh.
My building permit permits that I have that trailer there, and I didn't think the trailer was bothering anybody. But
Because we
it-
did get
it-
burnt out of our house. We lived in
Yep.
we lived in a hotel for well over a month, probably 5-6 weeks.
Michael, this is my wife,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no,
So
I've
I'm
met
a
her
little
before.
upset because, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
can I just say something real quick? Usually I let my husband
Sure,
talk.
please.
We have kids,
Mhm.
and unfortunately we were displaced in the middle of the night. We all could have died.
Mhm.
It was in the middle of the night. We're all very scared. So we've been displaced out of our house. Unfortunately, some of our neighbors were very kind, and some of our neighbors, when we got back with the trailer, haven't been so.
Well, ma'am, let me just tell you that this has, from our point of view, this has really nothing to do with the trailer, all right? Our concern is solely about the shed, okay? Because the shed was there was no filing with us as there should have been, and so that's the reason why we're
So,
here.
Michael, could I interrupt and get back on point with
Please.
that, to address that?
Mhm.
So it was to come in 2 pieces. It came in 1 piece, and then the roof was completely disassembled. So they placed it, and then there were 6 guys constructing the roof. So I was concerned as well. I'm like, I thought this thing was supposed to come in 1 piece. Well, it was supposed to be 2 pieces, we can't fit, we need a permit, so on and so forth. That's when the skip shed got concerned. I said, you're complicit in this, and you have a responsibility to be responsible, and you're telling me you're delivering this thing in 1 piece, and now I'm having all kinds of trouble with, I didn't realize I had that much of a concern, that many concerns with my neighbors, but simply the construction, it was like we were constructing a building,
Well,
which actually we were, and I have pictures of it, how it came, and that's what prompted me to do that.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the issue of the building, getting a building permit and not getting a permit is not our concern. Our concern
Right,
is
right.
solely the fact that the shed was placed on the bank without
Yeah.
filing with us, okay? And whether that was, an accident or otherwise, it drew our attention. We got complaints about it, and that's
Yeah.
why I went out that, and that's why you're here.
Yeah.
So what I would like to hear is a plan from you on when you're going to move that shed. And you just told me it's when you'll be able to move back into your home,
Right.
because then you can remove the trailer, and then the plan is that Skips is not going to move the shed over.
Yes.
Okay? So can you provide us with a date certain or close to a date certain when that's going to happen?
I could.
Okay?
I could actually tell you now, we're shooting for 8 weeks, 10 weeks tops, to have that trailer out of there, and then I can move this movable structure, this shed, to a more, a place where it should be.
Well, the next
in
question is-
compliance with the conservation.
The next question is going to be, are you going to move it within 25 feet of the bank?
I will absolutely do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're going to move it beyond the
It's
25 feet?
It's 15 feet right now.
You'll have your time, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
It's 15 feet right now.
So give me a date.
Okay, so
July 1.
if, I don't have a calendar in front of me,
No.
but if I said 10 to 12 weeks, that gives me 3 months. Because there's two things at play here, I'd actually be committing to, thank you, I'd actually be committing to getting back into my house as well.
Right, I understand that.
So I don't want to, because I have a year for that, and I don't want to be living in the trailer back there. But we did experience quite a traumatic situation. My 88-year-old father was sitting in the recliner, and we came close to, if we fell asleep an hour later, there would have been some injuries.
Certainly, I
To
get
say the
that.
least.
Mhm.
And there was absolutely, not that I don't even want to go down the road of compassion. I understand, I don't need compassion.
Well, sir, I mean, we can be reasonable here.
Yes.
I mean, if I gave you a date of July 15th, is that going to be enough time?
10 weeks is July, July 3rd.
That's about 10.
10 weeks
10
is
weeks.
left.
Good
And you
time.
said the 15th?
I said the 15th,
Yeah.
but
That would be perfect.
it's not etched
Yeah,
in
that's
stone,
a
and I
Monday.
want to hear from these fine people too. So,
Our next meeting would be like July 24th.
okay, all right. So anyway,
And Michael, I'm sorry to interrupt you again. 25 feet from the bank, I'm 15 feet where it sits right now. I will, maybe 11 feet, that would be in compliance.
it's going to be at least 25 feet.
So
from the back.
26 feet is
If
in
you don't want-
compliance, okay. Because it was always, and I didn't realize what the exact buffer zone was.
Mm-hmm.
A woman came to my property that day, I believe her first name was Lynn, and, she expressed her concern, and I was concerned as well, because I was standing there, and they were constructing this roof of this thing when it should have come in one piece, so,
Right. Okay,
I thank you for extending that to the 15th of July, and that will be.
well,
moved.
nothing's been agreed to yet, sir,
Oh, I
because
understand.
we have to, the board has to vote.
Mhm.
So, folks, if you want to, offer some comments, I need your name and also your address, okay? So who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Renee Byland, 10 Collier Way.
Okay.
I'm direct neighbors with them.
Can you stand up, please?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the temporary housing. I was out there with them that night when the electrical fire was going on. Joe, we've had this conversation, probably,
I think he wants you to
okay,
speak.
Well, yeah, why don't you just direct it to
when he
me?
was looking even at the property to move in, and I said, this is where the property lines are, this is the water, this is how far you have to be with everything, and you weren't there for the conversation, Laura. It's just
Go ahead,
been,
go ahead.
it just seems like a constant, like, one thing after another over there, like the golf carts, 15 of them at any given time. A used car lot the next month. It just constant, like, just no consideration for anybody else or the property.
Okay,
So when the shed went in, clearly, because they have another side yard where it could have gone temporarily till they could put it where they wanted, I just feel like Joe knew. I'm speaking about Joe. Clearly, like, you can't have this here and you know it.
okay, great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Someone
Can I
else?
respond to that?
No, you cannot. You'll have your chance, sir.
I'm Jeff Graveson. I live at 9 Collier Way,
Come on up, Jeff, please.
across the street from Renee.
Yeah, why don't you come,
Jeff, come on
come
up.
up?
Oh, sure.
Just, it's a little easier for us to see.
What's your last name, Jeff? I'm sorry.
Graveson, G-R-A-V as in Victor, E-S-O-N.
And 10,
Thank you.
10 Pulley.
9 Collier.
Nine,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
Yeah. My question is, the lot is clearly big enough that the shed didn't need to go directly on the bank. There's plenty of room to place it elsewhere on that lot.
Mhm.
Why wasn't it? Secondly,
Because they have a 62-foot trailer there.
well, you talk about the trailer.
Excuse
Wait,
me,
wait, wait,
sir, as I told you, they get a chance and then you can offer rebuttal.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Joe just now in this meeting mentioned that the shed is gonna go where the trailer is. And then later on in the meeting, he wants to know if 26 feet from the bank is okay. Well, if he's putting it where the trailer is, that's probably 70 feet from the bank. So I don't understand, if it's going where the trailer is, why he's concerned about 26 feet from the bank.
Okay,
That's all I have.
great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. You have limited rebuttal, so go ahead.
I think I'd like it to rest because now, the only thing I would like to comment on is general calm in the neighborhood. Not one of these folks behind me ever raised a concern of anything, and if there were concerns to be raised, there were many concerns to be raised about their properties, but I don't want to make this thing ugly because I'm frankly quite surprised that I'm being singled out and lynched in a public hearing simply because we're not the newest ones in the neighborhood. We're actually have some tenure now. We've been there 4 years, and there's people that our neighbors have been there for 2 years and 3 years. So
Right.
that's my rebuttal, Michael.
So, all right, and
Do I get to talk?
so,
I know it's a weird situation.
Michelle, you cannot rule on this because
know I
you're in a
won't rule
butter.
on
I
it,
think you
but-
can speak, though.
Okay. So Joe and Laura, I went to you guys personally as a neighbor, not as part of this board, and I gave you the rules. I said to you, once you cut down 5 trees in your backyard and took down that shed, you can't build within 25 feet of this water. You knew that. You knew that.
I didn't build
You
25
did.
feet from the water.
You put a shed, I said you can't
All
put
right,
anything
all right.
within 25 feet of the water.
This is not excuse me, this is not a debate between the two
I
of you.
know that, but he's saying that we didn't actually say anything to him,
All right.
and I did.
Just say it to
I
us.
said you didn't
Say
say
it to
anything.
us. Say it
Actually,
to
you-
us.
You've
Okay.
been very informative.
Okay.
Michelle, say it to
All right.
us.
All right, your point is taken.
All right.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to respond to that.
No, I think we've heard enough, sir.
Yeah.
All right, okay, could you stand up, please, and
Sure. My name is Mary Scully. I'm here with my husband Patrick, and we reside right across the street at 81 Berlin Street, and we are certainly not new to the neighborhood. We have been there for 25 years now.
Okay.
And we are directly across the street, and I take exception to the fact that you can find fault with some of the properties that are around you. Because like us, our other neighbors are keeping their yards meticulous. And you know what? Every time we put something on our property, be it the pool, be it the shed, be it the second floor, everything went through the process, and we got permits for everything. Didn't know, nobody came to us and had to tell us. We knew that the bylaws said you do this, this, and this when you want to add to your property. So I take exception to the fact that you say properties around you have issues too.
Okay,
Because that's
ma'am.
not true.
all right, thank you very much. All right, any comments from the board? All right, well, in that case, sir, first of all, I'd like a motion to basically confirm the enforcement order that I issued.
Yes, I'd have that up here. Ratify it? Is that
Yes.
what you're doing?
To
Yep.
confirm. Okay. A motion that we confirm the enforcement order that Mr. Garland made,
What day was that?
was that 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
It's dated.
Wait just a second.
Thank you.
Oh, it was dated somewhere.
Maybe on the front page.
4/12, I'm sorry.
On the
Thank
12th. Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote, thank you.
Okay, so they can just sign this? They can just sign
Yes,
the additional
please.
signatures?
Please, we can
Okay,
circulate
well,
that.
that's good.
Okay.
So, and Mr. Quigley, that's all the evidence you want to submit, sir?
No,
You don't have anything further to add?
no, I don't.
Okay, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to consider your remarks and the comments of your neighbors, and we will let you know what we're going to do, okay? So I want to thank you all for coming, and I appreciate it. It's a work night, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Thanks for
All right.
coming.
All right.
Would he need to be filing then, if he's...
We're going to have a discussion about this afterwards.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Are you
Good night.
Sheila?
Yes, I am.
Thank you for talking
Oh,
to the
that's all right.
folks at
Yeah.
Skips. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, good luck with
We
everything.
have a skip shed, came in.
Okay. Why don't we do the orders of condition, and then we can talk about Mr. Corrigan, okay?
Sure.
So,
Tom's on.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
He's got
ready.
it.
He was born ready.
Born
He was
ready for
ready.
this one.
Okay, so for ZPT, which is the solar facility
Yep.
on Rochdale Street,
Yep.
is there a motion?
I make a motion that we issue the order of conditions for 327 Rochdale Street, ZPT.
Okay, standard order plus,
Standard plus.
sir?
Oh, you, oh.
I was talking about the other one, I was talking about Emerson Holmes, but I'll do it, I got it.
I figured it was okay if I gave it that big.
Renee can't.
All right, ready?
Okay.
You got
I'm sorry.
standard order plus.
Go.
1, 2, 3, 5.
Correct.
And added to 5, I would like the owners or whoever to notify us when the measures are in place so that we could have a site visit.
That's a great idea.
Um,
Okay,
So that'd be like an addendum to item, special order number 5.
Okay.
did you get that, Sheila?
Contact when erosion control is in
Yep.
So
in
that an
place.
inspection
So we
can
can
be
inspect it.
scheduled.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Inspection,
continue.
okay.
Okay, and then we got, there was some rep rap number 7,
Yep,
8,
yep,
9.
yep.
I
There's no-
believe they already did number 10, I don't think that's, yeah.
No, that's not,
11
sure, why not?
and
13,
13.
because there is detention basins on
Yep.
the property. And also number 14. And 14 relates to, and I think you'll recall, there was discussion about the request for a waiver relating to the entrance
Mhm.
only.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's your motion? and-
Yes.
Okay, so stand order plus 1, 2, 3, 5 with the added conditions, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, and 14.
Oh, 12 also.
We didn't have 12.
We didn't have, I didn't have 12 before.
Well, you know what, there is no well restoration or mitigated conditions, so we do not have to put it on.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, forget
11,
12.
13, 14.
That's like that.
Right, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote? All right.
Okay.
All right, I've got that one all ready to sign here.
And Sheila, I think on the order conditions, the reference should be made to the plan that was revised
Okay.
as of April 3rd.
All right, I can change any of that. All right. Final revision, I already have that on here,
Okay,
4319.
perfect. Excellent.
Okay, there we go. I just need to add the special conditions.
You really didn't have any dinner, huh?
No, I really didn't.
Okay.
And hopefully this will make me sweeter, because right now I'm very crotchety.
No, you're kidding.
Really?
Can you pass it over to me?
You know what, have as many as you want.
There you go. Is that like that commercial, Michelle, with the Snickers bar? Oh, she needs a Snickers bar.
Yes. Hopefully it'll work. I don't think it will.
I don't
but
think
we'll
it's
see.
gonna.
I don't think it's going to either.
All right.
But worth a try. Thank you very much.
Okay, and then for 23 Brook Street.
Yep.
Make a motion.
I don't have that one ready.
Okay,
I make a motion that we issue for order conditions for 23 Brook Street, a standard order, plus numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 11.
1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 11?
Correct.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 5, 8.
you don't want to have number 9?
It's not.
Yeah, number 9 as well.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, and also, there is a request for a waiver for the underground filtration system.
Oh, that's right. All right, number 14 as
Okay,
well.
all right,
Okay,
just
plus
wanted
14,
to
okay.
bring that to your attention. Okay, so standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 13, and 14.
Oh, 13?
2.
Well, because there is underground detention,
Okay,
Okay.
13 and 14.
13 and 14, okay.
no retention.
All right.
All right.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed to vote?
All right, just grab one of these. There you go.
I'm hungry.
I hope you have strong teeth.
I've got Tootsie Rolls in my office.
You don't.
That's straight sugar.
Thank you. Hey, we're almost wearing the same color today.
Oh, no.
This is good.
Trick or treat.
Look at you. Oh my God, this is the best. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now I think you need to depart.
I do, okay, all right.
Okay.
I'll take my sister.
And in
We're all
fact,
good for the rest of the meeting,
We
right?
are. The only thing we would do after this is adjourn, so if you
Okay.
want
All right, I'm out.
to. Okay.
Good luck, guys. I
Thank
won't.
you.
What's that? Do you want these? I
Yeah.
can't, I can go eat
But
dinner.
your,
You're the best. Thanks, Bill.
Your comments will be considered.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Like I said, yeah,
See you at the next one.
right.
All right.
We'll take my sister with me. This is my sister, everybody.
Oh, is it
Hi.
really? Oh, my goodness.
I'm a neighbor too. She's a neighbor too,
Oh, wow.
so.
What's your
Just a
first
neighbor.
name?
Renee.
Renee. Nice to
Nice
meet
meeting
you.
you, Renee.
Yes.
I realized when
Okay.
I got to the stairs and I
Yeah, she
couldn't
came
leave.
with me.
So it's like,
yeah.
Oh.
maybe I could just sit.
Oh.
Have a good
Nice to
night.
meet you,
Nice to
Renee.
All right.
Okay, I got a question, and I think it's because I'm ignorant to the whole situation, and I'm very new to this
No, that's fine.
commission, right?
You know what? There are no bad
So-
questions, unless we say they are.
Is his, so the shed, obviously, you know, he's not within that buffer.
He's right on the bank.
Right, absolutely, I understand that.
Right.
If he's, as far as I understand, he's on his property, right?
It is on his property.
Okay,
But we have, as part of our regulations, or is it the bylaw?
Regulations.
We have a 25-foot no-build zone, and
Right.
At a minimum, what he should have done is he should have filed a request for determination with us, okay?
right,
In fact, we just issued a positive determination for someone on Bridle Path because they wanted to build a shed about 6 feet from the wetlands, and so, I think it should be strictly prohibited. I'll be honest, I mean, and this is just my observation, that shed did not just end up on the bank.
No.
Okay, they could have put it at any other location, and that, maybe that deck is a year old, they look pretty new to me, but I think the purpose was, I think the intention was for the shed to stay there, and then use the deck to either dive off or,
fishing, whatever.
fishing, whatever.
Names.
And so, this is not to say that we wouldn't, under circumstances, allow someone to do something like that, but in this case, he didn't do it. And as Michelle said, we had dealt with Mr. Criglia before when he cut down trees and took down a shed again without filing with us, and that was about 4 or 5 years ago. So, if Michelle said she gave him a copy of the bylaw and the regulations, I know Michelle and I believe that to be true. So I guess the question for us is what we want to do here. And I think you mentioned maybe he should file. I think maybe he should file. I think at this point we are entitled to know where he intends to place that shed when he is able to move into or move back into his home once the repairs have been made. And so that's just that's number one. And secondly, I think we do have to give him a deadline to move that shed.
He is intending to keep the shed, correct? He
Oh,
is
yeah.
intending.
Yeah.
He's keeping that shed, no
And-
problem. It has
and
been constructed.
respectfully, I mean, I heard him talk about how it's supposed to be delivered in one piece or two pieces. I think that's
It's got nothing
irrelevant
to do with
But
it.
isn't that what I was going to ask? Isn't that what he, different case, but the other day that they brought, well, a couple weeks ago, they brought up that if it's a movable structure, then it's exempt from this. Because that's what we were talking about,
Exempt from
bridal,
what?
was it bridal path?
That's
or-
what Kravosky was trying to argue.
Yeah, I was trying to argue a couple weeks ago that if it's a movable object, then therefore it's not a structure, it's not a built structure. And, I mean, is that the point he was trying to get across?
That was,
For the I don't mean to interrupt, but that was for the $500 fee. So we wouldn't have to pay the fee because it was minor. That was
But you
the
wouldn't have
only
to pay the
reason for
fee,
that.
does that mean you don't have to file?
See, I think it's a great question, it really is.
Yeah.
And in fact, she'll ask me before. I mean, so in the case of the applicant, is it Daniels?
Yes, Stephen.
Daniel. You know, if you're not digging up any dirt or anything or putting in footings, you know, why can't you permit it? Because by putting that shed within the 25-foot no-build zone, you're doing an alteration. You know, before there was nothing there, and now there's something there.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's an alteration.
yeah.
You don't have to dig up soil or fill in a well in to create an alteration. So, I mean, I'm looking for guidance here. I think, you know, because Mr. Quigley, I think, should have known better, especially because we had dealt with him 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it was that long ago. He said he's been there for 4 years.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was 4 years.
Then
No,
less
a
than
couple
4
years,
years.
maybe, 'cause I was
Maybe
on the
3
board.
years.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, I guess the question is, when do you want to set a deadline for him to move the shed?
Well, did anyone go over and do a site visit? Because it seems like this neighbor was saying that the
I went over there.
trailer, a mobile home, is already 70 feet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
why couldn't he have moved it and put it right there where he thought he wanted to put it?
Or it could be at 26 feet at this point and make it, you know,
Right.
moot point.
So-
Because if he's not gonna move it all the way up to the 76 feet where the trailer is, if he just need, because he was kind of hemming and hawing, does it have to be exactly
Yeah.
26 feet? So move it to 26 feet and then
Yeah, that's
you're
what
done
he's
with
trying
it,
to do.
you know?
Yeah.
So again, if the board wants to enter an order compelling him to move that shed now more than 25 feet away from the bank, we can certainly do that.
Well, if he went and did a site visit and noticed there was an area that he could move it to,
But-
I mean, he's holding up the company too with the shed company.
I'm not
You know
sure
what,
that I
is
believe that.
respectfully,
Yeah, not our.
Not our
that
concern.
is not our
Yeah.
concern. You
Okay.
know, it really isn't. And you know, he can fight his own battles with the shed
Yeah.
company. All right, again. Because and that's a good sized property, all right?
Yeah.
They didn't just, you know, accidentally put it on the bank. They put it there because they were directed to put it there, at least in my
Exactly.
opinion.
Yes.
So, what's your pleasure?
So what if,
My counterpoint, though, to your argument is that maybe, yeah, he has enough room to move the shed now, but maybe he has a place in mind. I don't know if he does or not.
I think
he
it's where it
does.
is, was
I
the
don't-
place in mind.
Yep.
I don't think.
So Plan B, in other words.
Yeah,
So-
Plan
so
B.
I don't think he
So
has a plan
we
now.
can say that you can have until that July date we gave him
Right.
to move it to exactly where the trailer is.
No, not that
Because that's the
long.
only reason it's,
You know,
or you move it to 26 feet now.
And honestly, I don't care where he puts it. You know, as long as it meets the sideline requirements and it's at least 25 feet away from the bank, then he can put it. I don't care where he puts it.
But if his plan B is where the trailer is, rather than make him move it twice,
Right.
we say, okay,
And that's probably going to be the argument that
Right.
you know, I have a place in mind for this.
And he still has to
That's
file
right there.
a RDA.
My
He
concern
does
is,
have to file an RDA.
why are so many people protesting?
You know what?
And support, that bothers
well,
me.
I think it has, like, so the first lady who spoke, she had issues with what's going on over there, you know, there's
a
all
lot
these
of crap going
cars,
on.
Yeah.
which
Yes.
doesn't concern us.
No, it
Not
right?
really, no.
So for me, I don't care what
Right,
that
right.
is.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
junky, but we, yeah, right.
Right,
That's what's-
yeah,
no.
I mean, I get it, bad neighbor, but
That's not
it
our
is what it
concern.
is, it's not our
I
problem.
mean,
Right.
it's not our problem.
No, it
But
isn't.
Unfortunately, you know, that's you run into this.
Now,
from time to
Right,
time.
yeah.
what's the, and I apologize, I'm not
No, go ahead.
all
That's
up to
all
date
right.
here.
It's all right.
What's his issue with the home? I know he had a fire, right? So is it being rebuilt or
It's
is it
being repaired. I
Yeah,
think.
smoke damage.
There's a
So
picture.
they're-
The shell is intact. I think it's
Right.
mostly
Yeah,
smoke damage.
Okay, and they're living in the trailer.
They're living in
Yeah.
the trailer.
He
but it was
mumbled
also
some-
an electrical fire, so they probably have to go through and redo all the electrical
yeah,
and
right,
everything.
What
plus
was
the
the
smoke
fire? Do
damage.
we know?
When was it?
I'd say about a month and a half ago, because, maybe a month ago, not too much long.
Yeah,
Remember
well,
seeing
how
one
long
on
did she
Berlin
say she
Street?
was in a hotel?
She said she was in for a month.
They said they were, yeah.
But the trail's been there
probably a
for
couple
quite a
months.
while.
Yeah,
trail's
so
been
it's gotta
there
be longer than that.
at
But
least a
remember,
month.
we went looking to see, my husband and I went driving to look and see, and we didn't see it because we didn't go far enough. Look on Berlin Street, it's actually, I mean, I know
So
what it is now.
would we really make him move it twice? You know, like why wouldn't we wait till he's back in his home, gets rid of the trailer,
No.
then we, no?
Why? Because he's violating now.
Well,
Well, yeah, but I'm just
see, that-
saying,
that's why we're
That's
having this
bothering me.
discussion. Well, clearly.
We
If
had
it
to
was
go,
me, I'd go do a site visit, and if he's got enough room to move that in front of where that trailer is, between the water and that trailer,
I had to go through
get the
this.
rollers out.
I had to
Get
go
the
through
rollers
this through
out.
Skip Shed, and we had to get the permits.
That's who did
I
this
know.
one,
We
Skip
did it all,
Shed.
right.
And the building,
Skip Shed.
the building inspector has shut him down.
Yes, I was
They
building
actually,
inspector, we gotta
they
thank
shut him down before I issued the enforcement order.
Holy sh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, I mean, again, that's a different issue
Yeah.
for the
Okay,
town,
all right.
you know?
Yeah,
It really
mine's
is.
posted.
So, God. you've got a
Was
full
it,
head.
was
I'm
it shut
sorry.
down because they were constructing it on site? Is that?
I think there was no
No
building permit
permit.
There was
issue.
no permit.
Oh.
And it's,
okay.
you know what, I mean, this is almost like, you could almost, it's almost like a tiny house, for God's sake.
that's what I looked at it the first time, like, what is he building? Like,
It
a tiny,
is not,
I just drove
Beach
by
house.
there.
it is not small,
No.
you know?
Beach
It's-
house.
It's a very nice shed.
It is.
I think a person could live there comfortably.
I don't think they're gonna put
Mine
in
mine has
lawnmower
heat
in
in it too.
My sense is that they were not,
Right.
yeah, so in any event, but I could be wrong. So,
They were not.
all right, so we have, summarizing the conversation, we have two schools of thought here. One school is make a move right now, and the other school is give them until July 15th, which is an arbitrary date I just came up with, and we have them move it once.
No.
So, what do you want to do, folks?
I would like them to move it now.
I know what you want to, Nathan, what do you want to do?
And I feel that having to move it, if he's set on that point that it's gonna go where the trailer is, then it, you know, I think we can wait. I mean,
Actually, I just had a brilliant idea.
Brilliant.
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll see, maybe not.
Come on.
All right, how about if we require him, we'll keep the enforcement order in place, number one.
Yep.
We require him to file a request for determination with a plan showing us the exact location of the shed.
How long is that gonna take?
Well,
Shouldn't take long.
we'll give him until the second meeting in May, which would be May 22nd. That gives him a month.
That sounds good.
What do you think, folks?
26.
And when does he go, what would you like him to do then? Could you please repeat what you
Okay.
would like him to
He
do?
needs to file, I'm sorry.
no,
Request for determination,
Okay?
okay, which is what he should have done in the first place,
Okay.
with a plan showing us the exact location of the shed.
So they're in fact prolonging when he's going to do it.
Well, that presupposes that look,
He should file first anyway.
he's got to
Correct.
file.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's got to
Before he
file,
moves it.
all right? So instead of having
Right,
him move
before
it
you-
without, at least with a plan showing the location on the plan, we know exactly where he's going to put it, instead of this wishy-washy stuff. You got it?
I got it. I got what you're saying, yeah.
You know, and look, it's a shed. It's not like he's got, a septic going into the pond, you know? There's no running water there. So, I mean, the structure itself does not cause any harm.
I just want to-
I know that, I can tell that. So, what do we think? Is that seems like a reasonable approach?
And I ate
I think
supper.
that's reasonable, and then at that point, if he's not gonna move it to where
Then we
where
can
he
start issuing
can't,
fines.
then he can move,
Yeah.
no, but if he's not gonna move it to where the trailer is, and he says, my plan is to move it to this other spot, we said, well, then get on it, move it
Well,
now.
that's, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
nothing,
get on
there's
it.
nothing stopping you from moving it.
Okay,
see,
right.
for me, I don't, as long as it's within the buffer, I don't care where he puts it,
Mhm.
right? As long as it's on his property. I mean, I'm not his neighbor, I don't know that part, but at the same time, what does it matter to me where he puts it, as long as it's 25 feet?
That's
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
Sure. We don't
You know
care
what I
where it
mean?
puts it. He can put it on top of the other.
But I'm just saying, if his true end game destination is where that trailer is, then,
Do it.
you know, but he's got it in writing, he says, this is where it's
Right.
going, then we can give him till that point in time.
Yeah.
But if it's anywhere else, well,
So
and
now-
get it done.
actually, in all honesty, we don't even have to give him a date now. We'll give him a date when he files
Right.
the request for determination.
That's what I was gonna say.
There you go.
But we're giving him a whole month to file the request for determination, correct?
Well,
Are we?
are we?
I don't know.
Our next meeting's in 2 weeks.
You proposed
think
it.
2 weeks is enough time?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm hard.
you are.
I
Well, he
am,
just has to
but
file
You know
and
what?
then,
I've already put the ad in for the 8th.
I don't think
It's
it's
too, then we can't
Yeah.
It's
post
too
it.
real. Okay.
Yeah, I'm supposed to
alright.
do it on Wednesday.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah.
no,
Well,
and
and-
I don't even know if that's
And
the
I don't
case.
think he was ignorant either.
I think he was, no, I think he was definitely.
Yeah.
It lined up perfectly with the pre-existing deck to,
Yeah, isn't that interesting, huh?
That's
It's like that,
strange.
what's in that?
Now, general question,
Sure.
now what if he doesn't do anything? that we want him to do.
then we can
We
find him.
can,
Ooh.
I need to
okay,
do it.
And
all right,
we
that's what I
will.
thought.
Money talks.
We've been very, I think, disciplined and we've offered a lot of consideration, but our patience does have its limits.
So what you're saying is if we give him a chance to tell us where he's going to put it and give him that time period or whatever, and he doesn't do it, is that your concern? Then we
Or
can
no,
find him, is
just
that
like,
what you, are we
yeah,
like
or he
even
doesn't
with it
even, he
now?
says he's gonna do it, and then he never does it, you
Okay,
know?
okay.
There will be hell to pay.
Yes, there
Right.
would be.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Or
right.
money.
What about everybody
money
getting
to
over
pay.
there to
Yeah.
do a site visit as soon as I get that application in? So we can maybe vote on it on the 22nd?
Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna take
Okay.
action on the
All
22nd.
right, so as soon as I get the application, which would be 2 weeks before the meeting,
It has to be
Alright,
2 weeks.
so-
I'll get it to everybody.
So are we clear on what we're doing here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want a motion then.
I'd like to make a motion that we ask,
We tell
Are we
Mr.
clear?
we tell Mr. Grayler that he needs to file a RDA showing the exact location where he intends to place the shed.
And he has to get it into us so that we can have a hearing on May 22nd.
Yeah, he would have to have it in by May 8th, our next meeting.
Okay, so we
Okay.
can tell him that he needs to get it in. The deadline to get that in is May 8th. So it only is giving him 2 weeks,
Right.
okay? Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, I think that's all we need to say.
Okay,
All right,
you made the motion.
is there a second?
I'll second the
Is
motion.
there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Michelle abstains. I'll abstain on her behalf. And I think that's it. So is there any other business?
No, I didn't get to do the minutes.
It's
We didn't
okay.
show- I didn't think we
I
had
don't-
them on.
I don't think we're complaining too much, actually.
No, it's all right. We were all caught up.
We are.
Don't
I
worry
think
about it.
everything signed, the one for 23
Fine.
and
Yep.
347. All right, I think we're ready to roll.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a
Second
second?
that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the vote. All right, thank you, everyone.
Okay.